What's going on? It's Chief Servant, Wisdom Talks. Pray all is well with you. I want to talk to you a little bit about stewardship today. Stewardship is the first stage of leadership. You might hear birds in the background. I'm out here outside. We're doing some yard work, and some principles came out. I want to talk to you about them just for a little bit. Have you ever noticed whenever you're cutting your grass and trimming the hedges and raking the leaves, getting the yard right, you start seeing a little bit later, your neighbors come outside and start working on their yard, cutting the grass, blowing the leaves. Neighbor on the left starts cutting the grass, blowing the leaves. And you start seeing people moving around and start making moves once you start making moves. Have you ever seen that? Have you ever noticed you started cleaning yourself, maybe you blow your nose or put a Tic Tac in your mouth? Somebody else next to you sees you and they start checking their nose, checking their mouth, making sure they're good. That's stewardship. What happens is whenever we begin to focus on ourselves and better ourselves and take care of our own environment, we begin to lead others. They begin to look at themselves and see, hold up, let me get myself together. Let me get myself straight. It's the first stage, the first sign of leadership. Before you can lead others, you have to lead yourself. And we all have areas of development that we need to grow in, and you can't be a perfect leader. You can't be perfect before you lead other people. But the first thing you have to do is focus on yourself. I see too many leaders spending time trying to fix others when they haven't fixed themselves. See too many leaders trying to tell others what to do when they haven't done what they needed to do themselves. But if you start with stewardship, if you start with taking care of that which is in your care, taking care of your own garden, you're going to lead others by default. Now, the fools will look and see you doing things and they won't do anything. They may even mock you. They may even say, why are you doing all that? You're doing too much. Nevertheless, keep leading. Keep leading by being an example. Being an example is not pointing the finger saying, hey, you need to fix this, you need to do that, clean your car. No. What you do is clean your own car. Clean your own car. And they'll start cleaning theirs. Take care of your own yard, your own garden, and they'll start taking care of theirs. If they're wise people look at other people doing things that are excellent and they raise their standard. It's not necessarily competition, but it's motivation. And a leader must be a motivator. That's one of the most frustrating things for a follower, to see a leader telling them and what to do and giving them more work, more labor while they're sitting back chilling. But when you see your leader getting it in, when you see your leader putting in work, and moving and working hard and smart and making moves, it makes you want to move. It motivates you. We motivate by stewardship. We motivate by taking care of our own things. And I think Jordan Peterson, one time, he was talking about leadership, and there are people who are campaigning and protesting and doing all kinds of things and trying to fix the world, but haven't fixed their own houses. That's an important principle. He said, if you want to change the world, fix your own house. He said, if you want to change the world, go ahead and clean out your garage. If you want to change the world, go ahead and clean out your closets. This is how you change the world. Why? Because you start with what is in your hands and what is in your direct proximity, what is in your care. And if we learn how to take care of what's in our own hands, Then we can learn the principles of stewardship, and then those principles can move out into taking care of the neighborhood, taking care of the city, taking care of the state, taking care of the nation, taking care of the world. So if you want to change the world, you have to start with where you are. That's leadership principles. Many of us have not learned that. We have not learned the principles of stewardship. Now, some people are, great at this, and so it's like, nah, that's a misnomer. But for many people, it's revelation. It's a revelation. Change the world by changing yourself. Change the world. If we want to teach others, first we need to be taught. We need to be students. Read a book. Study something. Be disciplined. Be a disciple of something. Be totally submitted to something until you become one with it, a part of it. And then those principles, you see how they play out on the greater field. We have to start with where we are. It's very simple, but then at the same time, it's very difficult at times when we have not exercised our will. And it's important that you exercise your will and become disciplined. Now, for artisans like myself, creative people, we don't like to be disciplined. We like to freelance. We like to do things on our own time and do it by, when we're inspired. But see, that does not generate a mastery. And a leader must be a master at something so that you can motivate others to do the work, to come alongside and help you complete the work that you were assigned to do. But they won't come alongside you if they're not motivated, if they're not inspired. How do we inspire? We inspire by mastering ourselves and going from stage to stage, or like the scripture says, from glory to glory, from faith to faith. When we conquer difficult things and we learn how to master difficult things, then that gives us a certain level of insight, perspective. That perspective helps us to see principles. Those principles do not just start with us or remain with us, but those principles can be extracted. Those principles can be, I would say, put out on a greater scale. So you say, I know I'm a leader. Then I challenge you, leaders, be a better steward of what is in your hands. You say, well, if I do that, if I lead myself in privacy, how will others see? They'll see. They'll see your growth. They'll see your development. And it changes the way that we lead others. It changes the way that we speak with others when we have done the work of mastering ourselves. Because if we've done the hard work, then we understand how hard it is for others to do the work of mastering themselves. Then we can coach them, we can direct them, we can give them guidance. And that's what leadership is, guiding people. Guiding people to a better place. What is that better place? That place of destiny, that place of excellence, that place of promise and inheritance, that same place. Really, when you understand heaven, the environment of heaven, it's the environment of celestial beings. It's the environment of heavenly beings. It's the environment of those who are beyond the flesh. I'm trying to find a better word to say that. It's the environment of those who are not limited to carnality or limited to fleshly things, or not ruled or mastered by earthly things. They've learned how to transcend earthly things. And it's the earthly things that have us tripped up at times. It's the earthly things the natural day-to-day things that we, try to figure out. You get a new computer, new software is earthly, something made by man in the earth, but then you have to figure it out. But in figuring it out, you figure out things about yourself. You figure out how you learn. You figure out how you deal with challenges. You figure out how you overcome those challenges. Those things are vital. It's important to know, because those are lessons you can teach others. You can teach your children. You can teach your students. You can teach those people who you mentor. You can teach them after you have learned something. So that's just a little bit of wisdom I want to drop on you. Take it, receive it. Don't put it on the shelf. Marinate on it. Grace and peace. Wisdom Talks.